Get there, lad.
One, two. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wollongong Wolves up against 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3. Last time I used this cable it was a little bit janky, but it was with the onboard camera. One, two, three. Yeah. Now try it without the onboard mic going, seeing how it sounds just on its own. Last time I used this cable, it sounded a little bit hummy, but that's because it was with the 1, 2, 3. Not really. I'm sort of stuck in a little pocket here, so I've turned off the microphone and the onboard camera, so just so you can see. Yeah, I turned the effects off just because it's easier for you to hear the microphone like this. I just want to check the onboard. That's the one I want to check. So if that's sounding okay, then that's all good. But I can't really move from where I'm at because there's nowhere really to move to. It's pretty cramped in this grandstand. Okay, great. Thank you.
Have on, mate. Oh, man, rush.
One person said that it was flat, but Newcastle, Wanderers, and Olympic all got docked because of apparently they didn't submit their financial statements or something, which sounds more legit because Olympic don't have fans. And then the other one. That's a big issue. The second person you can play yeah. But yeah, you'd already been screwed. That's right. So feel free to dance around that topic when you say that you're back. I just thought from the unfortunate red card clearly they can line up do handshake and get a...
Oh, yeah.
That sounds good. I always go to the rest of the handshake. How do you want to do it? Because it's really and they sign it. That's the final one. I'll probably go to oh yeah, like it's no job. That's what it was. Doing anything Martin said, Duarte did his shoulder in the cup. He ran in.
I get to sit next to Christian, I said, Christian, sit next to me in the first half.
Oh yeah.
Much more muchness, but I should expect that if it all works out, which one is easy? An extra 5 minutes for an easy drive. I would rather do an easy drive than walk.
So the one at Sutherland, is that the only one?
Yeah.
The last game we played in field. The game before that last year, City FC won 4-0. That's 3 years ago. 2,500 years ago. But we're talking about this year.
Well, hello and welcome down here to Ian McLennan Oval. The ground 12, New South Wales, NPL, Big Star, between the Mount Druitt Town Rangers and your Wollongong Wolves. The starting lineup for today's Big Star, first of all, Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Number 1, Dylan Nietzsche. Number 2, Alexander Trajanovsky. Number 5, Seth.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Macedonia Park for NPL Men's New South Wales football as Wollongong Wolves host Mount Druitt Town Rangers. A consistent run of wins has not been a feature for either of these teams in the opening rounds, but today presents an opportunity to make some positive steps towards a surge up the table. My name is Tim Gibson. We'll get into the teams after the minute's silence.
Number 2, Harrison Musil. Number 4, Dylan Ryan. Number 5, Sammy Kanadurni. Number 6, James Agnopoulos. Number 7, Woon Subsiv. Number 17, Marcus Beach. Number 21, Nicholas Olsen. Number 24, your captain, Lachlan Scott. Number 29, Ben Gryson. And number 77, Raphael Lei. The Wollongong Wolves are starting to hear the passing this week of a great valued member of the Wolves community, Antonio Lavelle. The Lavelle family are great supporters of our Wolves, and we'd now like to ask you
ladies and gentlemen.
So we'll get into the teams now, and starting with the Wolves. In goal is Oliver Yates. Number 2 is Harrison Bunel. 4, Dylan Ryan, returning to the team in the NPL Men's New South Wales. 5 is Banri Kanaizumi. 6, James Anagnostopoulos. 7 is Woon Subsim. 17, Marcus Beattie. 21, Nicholas Olsen. 24, Lachlan Scott. 29 is Ben Geisen. And 77 is Raphael Liai. For Mount Druitt Town Rangers, number 1 is Dylan Niski in goal. 2, Alexander Trajanowski. 5 is Thep. 6 is Jared Massarola. 7, Garang Awak. 9 is Joey Gibbs. 10, Pedrinho. 11 is John Azar. Number 15 is Caleb Jackson Brown. 21, William Rankin. And 99 is Rocco Fragale. Michael Weiner is the referee. James Macris and Blake Sanchez Cruz are the assistant referees, and Reese Edwards is the 4th official. Mount Druitt set to get us underway, playing in the yellow and green. The Wolves in the red. And we've kicked off here at Ian McLennan Park, and Mount Druitt Town Rangers will look to knock the ball long. Of course, the venue switched from Macedonia Park in Berkeley due to the rain, and get to use the synthetic up here at Dapto. And an early free kick for the Wolves. Win sub Sim and Nick Olsen standing over it. Olsen chips it towards Lachlan Scott. And an important palm away from Niski. An early chance for the Wolves. And that'll run away for a goal kick. It was a good opportunity for Wollongong. A nice chipped ball from Olsen that created the chance for Lachlan Scott, who couldn't quite make contact with the ball. Here's Thep, who plays a direct ball. But that will go out of play. And Dylan Ryan makes his, return to starting in this competition. He's been out with a broken nose for the past few weeks, and it's a timely return with Sebastian Duarte, who had been, deputising at left back for the Wolves. He's out with a shoulder injury today. So a timely return for Dylan Ryan in that sense to give the Wolves another option at left back. Here's Ben Geisen. And Agnostopoulos does well to hold on to it. The Wolves making a good start to the game as Geisen escapes down the right. It's a delivery in towards Scott, and it's shepherded away well by Will Rankin, but another chance for the Wolves, and they've made a good start here within the first 2 or 3 minutes. Here's Pedrinho. And it'll be play on, not a foul. Scott finds Beattie. Takes it back to Anagnostopoulos, who can roll it towards Olsen. Anagnostopoulos, who's been pressed quite ferociously in these early minutes. Olsen will look to hold on to the ball. Olsen finds Ben Geisen, who can drive infield. Here's Liai. Just runs out of room, and the Wolves will keep it with Geisen. Chipped in towards Scott, who gets contact on his header, but Niski is able to hold on to it. Another chance for the Wolves. Ryan gets his head on the ball. Bunal will find Oliver Yates. Here's Kanaizumi. Good ball into Olsen, but it's not really directed too close to him, and Pedrinho can pick it up now. Clips one forward. Bunal will get there first and clear it away under pressure from John Azar. First foray forward for Mount Druitt. With a throw in there that bobbled around before Yates picked it up. Here's Bunal. Towards Scott. Excellent hold up, and Geisen can shift it down the line for Raphael Liai, who's making his return to the team following suspension. Lachlan Scott picks it up. Isn't given the foul, and Pedrinho can come away with the ball towards Joey Gibbs. Up with Fragale towards Thep. Mount Druitt's turn to get a bit of control of the football in these early stages. Gibbs tries to hold it up, but given away to Massarola out on the right-hand side for Mount Druitt now with Garang Awak. Fragale finds Trajanowski. Here's Pedrinho. First time ball clipped around the corner for the speed of Caleb Jackson-Brown. Here's Pedrinho. Massarola. Garang Awak looks to get a delivery in, but Dylan Ryan defends that well, and it'll be a corner. Pedrinho comes across to take it. They've got some decent height in there, particularly Thep, but that's cleared away quite easily at the near post. And they can't keep it in, so the Wolves will get their throw in. Well, it looks like it'll go to Mount Druitt, that throw, or is it a free kick here? Just waiting to see what it is. It will be a free kick and another chance for Mount Druitt to get the ball into the box. Pedrinho will be hoping to put in a better delivery than he did on that first one. This one's finds Joey Gibbs very well. He was in an offside position, but it was perfectly towards the striker. Now, the last time the Wolves were at Ian McLennan Park, they had that defeat to Sydney United 58, a 2-1 loss. And a similarly rainy weekend here on the south coast as they break through midfield. Here's Ben Geisen. Marcus Beattie finds Lachlan Scott. Olsen to Scott. Back to Nick Olsen. He won it on that left foot. Defended well by Mount Druitt, but they can potentially break forward through the middle of the field themselves here as a whack picks the ball up on the left. Azar plays it back to Trajanowski. Fragale finds Thep. A deep delivery towards Azar. Ben Geisen heads away. Marcus Beattie further out. And it'll be another free kick for Mount Druitt. A much better spell this after the early flurry of chances that the Wolves had. They've worked their way back into it with a series of set pieces. Pedrinho set to take this one again. Closer range, which opens up the potential for a shot. Especially with the Wolves putting a decent wall together. Here is Pedrinho. Hits it well. Bounces past that right post, of course. Alan Harbus scored an excellent free kick against Oliver Yates in that 2-2 draw in the previous round for the Wolves, and that one wasn't too far away at all from Pedrinho, and it would have been a good goal to score given the way this game has gone so far. Chances both ways. Here is Pedrinho again. Lifted over the top towards Azar, but Yates was aware of it and will get an offside here. So chance for the Wolves to build up some steady possession. Bunel finds Ben Geisen. Geisen towards Liai. Works hard to hold on to the ball in the box and tries an acrobatic effort. Can't make the contact, and it'll be a free kick to Mount Druitt. A touch of force, and the point of contact was a little high as well, and that will constitute a yellow card for Wound Sub Sim. Was Massarola who copped the brunt of that challenge from the midfielder. And that's cut off by Ben Geisen, who can drive forward but couldn't pick that pass to Lachlan Scott. Pedrinho gets it back and tries a clever ball for down this left-hand side with John Azar. Still holds on to it after that shot, stays on his feet. Here's Pedrinho. Pedrinho to Azar. A little bit short, but a whack will pick it up on this left-hand side. Pedrinho. Trajanowski. Pedrinho finds Trajanowski. Here's Massarola. And they'll push it down with a whack down the right-hand side. Here's Caleb Jackson Brown. Massarola. And it's let through. Joey Gibbs was alert to it, but Yates will get to the ball first. Lachlan Scott showing that excellent hold-up ability that he does have, and Ben Geisen, who's had a few chances down the right. Back to Scott. Here's Geisen. Woon subs him on the ball. Here's Dylan Ryan. And Agnostopoulos will hold on to it. Still under pressure. Here's Ben Geisen. Been given a lot of space here and can find Marcus Beattie. Scott for Geisen. No real targets to aim for in the box, and it'll drift out towards Lei on this left-hand side, but well defended by Will Rankin, and they'll have a goal kick here, Mount Druitt. It's not been too easy for them defending this year. The 27 goals they've conceded is the most of any team ahead of round 11. And there's been a few big defeats in there. A 5-0 loss to Manly, a 5-0 to Manly and Apia. And then a 4-0 on top of that to Sydney Olympic. So they have had problems with their defending this year, but they've done well so far, apart from those early chances the Wolves did have. As we just tick over the 15-minute mark here at Ian McLennan Park. Had that disappointing defeat to Blacktown last time out, where they scored a couple of good goals in that one, but ended up on the wrong end of the scoreline, a 3-2 loss. Another 3 goals conceded. Here's Gibbs. And nodded forward with an excellent burst of speed from Caleb Jackson-Brown, but Bunel deals with it, and Thep with an interesting manoeuvre to prevent Scott from getting on the end of that. Here is Pedrinho. He's got the 3 goals this season for Mount Druitt. None in his last 3 games, though. Played well against Blacktown and assisted the first goal with a lovely bit of footwork and pass forward to send Caleb Jackson-Brown in for a goal. So he's that creative spark for Mount Druitt. He's out on the left-hand side today to see if he can produce anything. Of course, had the free kick that went narrowly wide already. Here's Scott. Beattie, a fortunate bounce, and here's Raphael Lei into the box. Good save from Niski to get a foot to the ball, with Beattie and Olsen both making that run across the 6-yard box. Olsen comes across to take this corner. Mount Druitt caused Blacktown problems from set pieces in that last game, but and it's Dylan Ryan off the post. What a comeback that would have been for him. But I was just about to say that Mount Druitt struggled to defend set pieces against Blacktown. The winner in that game coming from a corner, and clearly there's still some problems to iron out as Ryan comes close, but here's a chance for Rankin down the right for Mount Druitt and over the head of Joey Gibbs. A decent example of what we've seen so far in this game, which is that both teams have shown susceptibilities defensively, at least in moments. That one there for Mount Druitt coming from a corner, while the counter-attack from Mount Druitt looks quite dangerous as well, with that cross just flying over the head of Joey Gibbs. Still waiting for the opening goal, though. Here's Dylan Ryan towards Lachlan Scott with it. His captain. Dylan Ryan getting a first start in the NPL Men's New South Wales after returning from injury. He came off the bench against Sydney FC for 5 or so minutes before getting through 56 minutes in the cup defeat to SD Raiders, as we see John Azar escape down the right-hand side. Joey Gibbs making a good run in the box. Yates with an important interception. And Ben Geisen to take the ball away a couple of times now down that right-hand side. Mount Druitt have been able to get in. Here's Beattie to Olsen. Olsen finds Beattie. Nothing in the box again. Scott dummies it for Olsen. Some more neat combination play between Scott and Olsen, which we've seen a lot of so far this year. That one not quite coming off. As I was just mentioning, in the cup in midweek, the Wolves did have that shock defeat to SD Raiders. They were playing a few of their less experienced players, but you'd expect a top team in the state to be able to get past SD Raiders, who are further down our New South Wales football structure. Geisen towards Beattie. And it's a good tackle from Pedrinho. Bit of a push in the back from Fregale, but they'll keep the ball here, the Wolves, and here's Lachlan Scott. Leai, can he hold on to it? Raphael Leai pokes it wide. Off his weaker side. On that left wing, a couple of chances he's had now. That one just rolling past the left post. Linking up with Lachlan Scott, who missed that match against SD Raiders. Played well in his last home game, did Lachlan Scott. Picking up a brace against Sutherland Sharks over at Macedonia Park. We'll be looking to continue finding the net. He hasn't been as prolific as he has been in previous years so far, but has shown glimpses of quality. The goal scoring, the brunt of the goal scoring rather, has probably been mostly held by Nick Olsen, who's got 9 this year. Here's Ben Geisen. Leai with some space on the right-hand side. Will look to get it on his left foot. And it's a good shot, and it's an excellent save from Dylan Niski, who got down low to it. There were a few bodies in the way of the goalkeeper, so he wouldn't have seen it as early as he would have liked, but did well to bat that behind for a corner, which the Wolves have already proven to be a threat from. That header from Dylan Ryan coming off the post. Olsen with an in-swinging delivery this time. Ryan's free again, but it won't find him. Here's Woon Sub-Sim, which with a shot that ends up well over the bar. Winston Sim was another player who was left out of that squad against SD Raiders, so he should be fresher. Winston Simon and Agnostopoulos have been almost exclusively used in that midfield in the NPL Men's New South Wales as a pairing. So a break was probably well earned. Kanaizumi finds Scott. And Agnostopoulos can't hold on to it. That drives a ball towards Garang Awak, but Oliver Yates early to it. And Agnostopoulos. Here's Liai who slips. And Masarola can come away with the ball. Here's Jackson Brown, Joey Gibbs. Garang Awak, who's seen plenty of the ball on this right-hand side. Gets a good ball in, and Oliver Yates does well to hold on to it. But again, down that right-hand side for Mount Druitt, they've had a few chances. Nick Olsen clips it around the corner towards Scott, who does well to initially hold on to it, but it's given away, and Mount Druitt can race forward. Jackson Brown, Caleb Jackson Brown picks it up and plays it to Gibbs, and it's a shot from Pedrinho that ends up over the bar. Just over halfway through this half, and certainly been chances both ways in the game, and a really exciting one, an end-to-end one as well. Lachlan Scott, and important toe from Garang Awak to help Mount Druitt get in control of the ball. Niski plays it towards Rankin down the line. Just one win in their last 5, Mount Druitt, just 2 all year so far. Draws against Western Sydney and Central Coast helping boost the stats as well. But here's Liai. Good tackle from Mount Druitt, and you can see there's an increased diligence in the way they're defending, and it looked as if there was a push in the back on Ben Geisen, but we'll get underway with Garang Awak. Joey Gibbs. Here's Dylan Ryan. Geisen. Goes for a big switch of play and won't find Nick Olsen, and it's a chance for Mount Druitt to work forwards into the space. Rankin. Sim tries a flick and it doesn't quite work out. They've still got it, Mount Druitt. Here's Pedrinho. A whack. Space at the back post for Azar, and it's 1-0 Mount Druitt. Again, it's that right-hand side for Mount Druitt. John Azar with his 4th of the year. And it's a well-taken finish at the back post. A good ball in from Garang Awak as well. And they've got the lead. Away against Wollongong. They've not been bad today, the Wolves, at all, but it has been that right-hand side that has been so problematic for them. But here's Azar, the goal scorer down the left. Pedrinho. Back to Azar. Rajanowski. A whack with... He was the one with that excellent cross to get the goal, is apparently not fouled, and here come the Wolves. Good interception from Azar there. Olsen finds Scott, back to Olsen. Wriggles his way into a crossing position, but it'll be a throw-in. A long throw from Win sub Sim that'll bounce in the box. Beatty. Back to Anagnostopoulos. Here's Kanaizumi for Ryan. Azar. Trajanowski will go direct, but Buno was aware of it. Kanaizumi. Winsub Sim picks it up and will switch it out towards Rafael Leai with an excellent ball, but he can't hold on to it, the winger. Rather tamer period in the game after that opening goal. Here's Beatty to Ben Geisen. Back to Beatty. Pedrinho can't hold on to it. It'll be a Mount Druitt throw-in on this near side. Trajanowski to take. Bit of a defensive reshuffle today for Mount Druitt. No Zach Svilagoy, who was sent off against Blacktown, which has left them to reshuffle their defence, which is defended diligently so far and still has the clean sheet intact as we have gone through the half-hour mark in this one. Regale finds Trajanowski. Pedrinho. Neat flick. Azar can't hold on to it. Ball towards Scott. Drifted out towards Dylan Ryan. He does well to keep it in and slips over, but keeps the ball. Scott. Moon sub sim, who's already on that caution. And I think it's Pedrinho who's stayed down. Has to be careful, Woon sub sim. He's already on that caution, and you think he doesn't have too many more fouls in him before he sees that second yellow card. It looks to be okay to continue though, Pedrinho. Niski to shovel the ball up the field towards Garang Awak. Ryan wins his header. The Eyes want to throw in. Scott dropping deeper to get on the ball today, but his hold up has been useful. BT, that'll be a Mount Druitt throw on halfway. A loose touch from Marcus Beattie as the ball was fizzed into him. Kojanowski towards Gibbs. 3 around him, and he's won a throw out of it. A little under 10 minutes of regular first half time to play. There'll be a free kick for the Wolves, which Nick Olsen will take. Finds it out to Kanaizumi for Ryan. Bunal to Olsen. Good touch from Olsen and clips it towards Marcus Beattie, but overhit. Pedrinho. First time ball towards Awak, but Ryan alert to it and nods it back to Oliver Yates. Here he is, Dylan Ryan, who appears to have taken a knock to that nose, which is probably still a touch tender after what was a nasty collision against Western Sydney Wanderers. Nassarola knocks it away, and Ryan will take this throw in. Look, a touch out of ideas at the moment, do the Wolves, but here's a chance for Lachlan Scott, who's escaped wax the tensions, and Pedrinho will knock it behind. You're working very hard, Mount Druitt, in terms of getting everyone behind the ball. Here's Win Sub Sim. Dyson towards Beatty. Gates finds Geisen. Plenty of settled possession for the Wolves, and it will be about whether they can break down Mount Druitt. Scott, again dropping deep, rolls well and drags it wide. Been in a tough run of form, have the Wolves, just the one win against Sutherland in their last 5. That big loss to Manly still not too long ago, and of course a loss here to Sydney United as well. The recent draw with Sydney FC where they did fight back from 2 goals down before that defeat in the Cup in midweek, that upset. Here's Gibbs towards Azar, but he can't hold on to it. Here's Anagnostopoulos, and Masarola will hold on to the ball. Done well to find Azar in a pocket of space in midfield, who keeps hold of the ball, and it'll be a free kick for Mount Druitt, who so far at least have managed this game well.
Head down towards the gate at the northern and over near the change rooms where you came in. Any kids, half-time walk chase? Make your way over towards the gate where you came in.
Yates punches the ball away, and Mistopoulos can find Ryan, and that'll be a throw into the Wolves. I mean, that was a silly throw-in, really, from Ryan right into the middle of the pitch where they didn't have too many numbers, the Wolves, and it was almost a free kick. Here is Scott towards Raphael Leai. He can't hold on to the ball as he faces a wall of Mount Druitt defenders, and you can sense an air of frustration around Wollongong's play. That's another push in the back, which we've seen a few of now since that goal that they conceded to go behind. A minute away from finding out how much stoppage time we'll have in this first half. Mount Druitt still holding the narrow one-goal lead and have been defending compactly ever since. Moments like that do take the pace of the game down a few notches, which works in the visitors' favour. Niski towards Gibbs. Here's Azar. Good header from Anagnostopoulos, and the Wolves will get it clear. Here's Trajanowski. Scott. Bunal finds Kanaizumi. Bunal. 2 minutes of additional time goes up. And it's another foul. Scott. And it'll be a corner. Last chance corner for the Wolves to salvage an equaliser heading into halftime. Into a good area, but headed away at the near post. Kanaizumi. And Agnostopoulos is the last outfield player back for the Wolves. Woon subs him. Back to Yates. Here's Beattie. Kanaizumi with a big switch towards Nick Olsen. Brings the ball down well for Geisen. Cut out by Azar, who's worked incredibly hard getting back, as has Pedrinho as well. That's been a feature of what Mount Druitt have produced today. And Subsim will hoist the ball into the box and came right into the middle of the box, but cleared away eventually. Here's Geisen. Raphael Leai. And that'll be half-time here. Mount Druitt holding a 1-0 lead over the Wolves. John Azar with the goal. We'll be back in around 10 minutes' time for the second half.
for sponsoring our halftime book dates here. Second half coming up very soon.
You get it, Hyde?
Well, welcome back to Ian McLennan Park here at Kembla Grange. Mount Druitt Town Rangers leading Wollongong Wolves 1-0. John Azar with the goal a little before the half-hour mark. Plenty of work for the Wolves to do in this second half if they are to get back into it. Managed to come back from 2 goals down against Sydney FC last round, and they'll need to produce something similar if they want to get anything out of this game. There appears to be no changes from either side at half-time, and an early challenge there that will produce a yellow card. That was Pedrinho who put that in within the first minute of this second half. Chance from the free kick for the Wolves. Referee just making his way over to his position to take it as Win Subsem will whip in the ball, but too close to Dylan Niski. Knocks it forwards, but Kanaizumi wins it. Scott can't quite hold on to it. Liai loses out in the exchange, and Garang a whack. Couldn't keep it in. Intense start from the Wolves as they probe for an early goal to get that equaliser. Olsen dropping deeper for Geisen. Pedrinho works hard and wins the ball back. Is Anagnostopoulos recycling possession well as he always does, and Ryan can find it Liai. He's beating. For Scott, Liai. Headed away by Mount Druitt, and Wolves can hold on to it. Dylan Ryan. A couple of options towards that back post if he wants to cross it in, but he'll find an Anagnostopoulos. They do have a fair few attacking options on the bench. The Wolves, the likes of Damon Gray, Lucas Trajsevsky, Alex Mashavecchio, and Liam Ball as well. Of course, Liam Ball did score that late equaliser against Sydney FC, that cross that looped its way in from a fair way out to restore parity against Sydney FC. Olsen wins the ball. Olsen finds Win Subsib and Anagnostopoulos out for Ben Geisen. Geisen with a good ball in and cleared away by Mount Druitt. Scott can't play that ball on, and the Wolves will pick up possession. It appears to be that Ken Izumi is wearing the number 3 shirt now, listed as number 5 on the team sheet, which is interesting. And they've won a good throw in here on the far side, the Wolves, as they continue this spell of pressure to start the second half. Here's Olsen. Beattie. And Agnostopoulos will find Dylan Ryan wide. And a whack with a good clearance, or block rather. Olsen, and that was a push in the back. A promising position for this free kick for the Wolves. Fancy Nick Olsen to step up for this one. Winsub Sim looks eager for it as well. We Winsub Sim into the wall and behind for a corner. Olsen with another delivery into the box. Of course, Dylan Ryan hit the post from an Olsen corner in the first half, as it's towards the near post again. Beattie drilled towards Bunel, who wins his header, and Dylan Ryan with a volley that was straight at Niski, who's been called into action on a few occasions in this game and has been sharp with it as well. Beattie and Gibbs battling for the ball, and it's given away by the Wolves. Here is Pedrinho. All the way back to Dylan Niski. Muscle roller on it. Into Jackson Brown, and that was a big hit from Ken Izumi, but a whack will find Jackson Brown, who was, the accusation was that he'd been bumped off the ball by Dylan Ryan, but it's play on and the Wolves can continue to work it out of the back. Here's at Ben Geisen. Niski will be forced to play out under pressure, and it's eventually booted up the field. And Agnostopoulos finds Dylan Ryan for Raphael Leai into Scott. Just behind an Agnostopoulos, and they have the ball back, Mount Druitt. Niski launches it out for a throw-in. Scott finds an Agnostopoulos, given away though And here is Caleb Jackson-Brown, who couldn't quite hold on to it. He's a threat with his pace for sure, and that would have been a great chance if he could have got control of that ball and sprinted in on goal, but failed to hold on to it. And they'll have to work here. Bunel needed to win that challenge. He headed it over Kanaizumi, which threatened to be problematic, but get it clear in the end, the Wolves, and now they will look to recycle the ball. Ben Geisen finds Bunel. Win sub-sim. Dylan Ryan. Beatty's won that 50-50 and still going. Marcus Beatty falls into Scott's path, and no penalty given as he worked his way into the box. Here's Dylan Ryan. Poor pass, and they work hard to get it to Dylan Ryan, but that'll be a foul. Here's Pedrinho. Gibbs on it now, and that'll be a free kick for the Wolves near halfway. Raphael Leai with a chance to try and produce something, but chooses to knock it back to Ryan. A lot of settled possession here for the Wolves, but finding it difficult to create those chances and get it closer to the box, with Mount Druitt having so many players back. Here's Olsen though. Nick Olsen drags that volley wide. Ryan with a strong header, Beatty towards Scott, and that's a blatant drag back there from Will Rankin. And that was a good chance for the Wolves as well, with Scott on the turn and runners beyond him. A few signs in the last couple of minutes of the Wolves starting to get closer to a goal. Nearly at the hour mark now, which you'd think would signal potentially some changes. Good header from Bunel, but Niski will grab a hold of the ball. Bunel, good header. Olsen to use his speed, but he can't carry on with the ball. Kanaizumi. Kanaizumi moves it on for Ryan quickly, and Leai will have the ball at his feet. Leai finds Lachlan Scott in the box, and that's good defending, but they've still got it here, and Scott bundled over. It'll be a free kick right on the edge of the box. Good opportunity this is for the Wolves. Will be Olsen and Winsub Sim, who have been the two free kick takers for the Wolves in this game. Mainly seen Winsub Sim take them, so will be interesting to see whether Olsen gets this one from a closer distance. Right on the edge of the box, that is. Will be Winsub Sim. Good save from Niski. Bundled around, but it'll be an offside regardless. That was Nick Olsen, who just leathered a volley into the back of Joey Gibbs, but was offside off that initial phase of the free kick following the save from Niski, who's keeping his team in the lead with a few very good saves. Certainly vital ones. Garang Awak is currently down for Mount Druitt Town. Picked up the assist for the goal in the game and was in the first half a significant threat down the right-hand side in behind the Wolves left with Dylan Ryan there, and got in that cross for the goal and had a number of other good moments as well, but we're not seeing too much of that in this second half. The tone's very much Mount Druitt looking to stay compact and stay defensively solid to keep their lead intact, and looks as if we may be about to see a substitution for the Rangers. It'll be Garang Awak to come off the field, and Jude Rankin will come on. Good shift for Garang Awak. Not just is probably on the ball in that first half, but he's been incredibly hard working going the other way, and certainly spent more time defending than he has attacking in this second half, and that's been useful to Mount Druitt as they look to hold on to the lead. Geisen, Beatty tries a dummy, but only has a throw-in. Scott. Joey Gibbs with a good piece of hold-up, and Jackson Caleb Brown is battling for that ball, but he can't hold on to it. Here's Oliver Yates for Dylan Ryan. Woon Sub Sim finds Bunel. And Agnostopoulos has had a higher position on the field, the midfielder, as the Wolves look to push numbers forward. But here's Raphael Leai bursting into the box and blasting it over the top. Alex Mashivecchio warming up for the Wolves as We're 20 minutes into this second half. Probably the most senior of the substitutes for the Wolves. As Olsen finds the ball towards Lachlan Scott. Scott rolls it to Anagnostopoulos, but it'll come through to Woon Subsim. Geisen space on the right, and a left-footed cross that's headed away by Thep. Here's Geisen with the ball again. Beattie. Marcus Beattie looks to find his way into the box. Bunel wins the header and cops a bit of a hit on the way through by Joey Gibbs. Here's Pedrinho. Finds the ball towards Jude Rankin, but Ryan cuts it out. And the consequence of the tug back there was that he lost his balance and ends up clattering into Pedrinho, who's knocked up by two Wolves players. Here's Ryan. Kanazumi finds Bunel. Here's Kanazumi towards Dylan Ryan. Ryan with a lovely whipped ball, just evades Scott, and Geisen will whip it back into the box, and that's a penalty. Lachlan Scott got his foot to the ball first and was tripped over. A lifeline for the Wolves. A couple of dangerous deliveries into the box and not effectively defended by Mount Druitt. It'll be Lachlan Scott to step up for the Wolves. It's usually Nick Olsen, but Lachlan Scott will take responsibility, having won the penalty. It's a big moment in the game, this, for the Wolves. Here comes Lachlan Scott. And it's a good finish, sending the keeper the wrong way. And they're back in at the Wolves. Has a slightly patchy record from the spot, does Lachlan Scott, but there was no doubts about that one. And it's game on here at Ian at McLennan Park. Here's Pedrinho. Finds John Azar, who we haven't seen too much of in this second half after a lively first half, the goal scorer, but also someone that was an outlet for Mount Druitt. Can Mount Druitt find their way back into the game and get back in front? It will be Pedrinho, who is a decent long shot taker and certainly had the power on that one. It was an awkward deflection, and Yates just about holds on to the ball. And the Wolves will push it forward quickly. Here's Scott. He's been very effective in this game at holding it up and using that physical strength that he does possess. Lei for Dylan Ryan. Looks to whip that ball in, and it's not dealt with by Mount Druitt. Hacked away. Shoved away there by Mount Druitt as they look to weather the storm following that equaliser from Wollongong. Long throw in. Buna won that header. It'll be a head knock for Mount Druitt to deal with. It looks to be Joey Gibbs who's down. Quickly up to his feet though. Wolves will get this ball back from the drop ball. Ryan. It was his cross that created the initial chaos that led to the penalty. Lei. Neat 1-2 with Scott. Here's Lei. Mainly operated off the left-hand side and tries the rainbow flick, but not given for the foul that he thought he might have had. And Scott does superbly well to keep that in. Playing very well, Lachlan Scott, at the moment, and as if that was a clear foul, but they'll keep going and will get that free kick. That was sensational from Lachlan Scott. Technique to keep the ball in. Nick Olsen. Really fierce delivery in there, and Ryan got his head to the ball, but it was always going to be difficult to direct that on goal. Will be a Mount Druitt throw-in, it looks like. It looks as if the Wolves are readying a substitution over on that far side as we head into the final 15 or so regular minutes of this one. Could in fact be 2 or 3 substitutes. Of course, just the one in the game so far, which came from Mount Druitt Town. Lachlan Scott bursting through the middle. Gives a ball for Leai to race onto. It'll be a throw-in. And we will see one substitute for the Wolves. James Anagnostopoulos will come off, and it will be, I think that is Liam Ball to come on. As I mentioned earlier, Liam Ball did score that late equaliser against Sydney FC, so we'll be targeting a similar impact today. Good ball in from Woon Subsim. Olsen finds Liam Ball, and it'll be a foul against the substitute. Substitution for Mount Druitt Town looks likely as well. Will be Pedrinho to come off, and Thomas Lopez will come onto the field in his place. Thomas Lopez, of course, scored in that round 8 2-0 win against Sydney FC. One of only 2 wins for Mount Druitt this year. Will go what looks to be in that straight swap zone, the left wing role that Pedrinho was working in and defending really well. And Thep has just tackled Lachlan Scott to the ground. Struggling to deal with Lachlan Scott here, Mount Druitt Town. Win Subsim on the ball. Bunel. Joey Gibbs with a slight pullback, but Bunel will keep racing forwards. Leai and Scott looking to combine, but they'll get it away here, Mount Druitt. It's an outstanding pass from John Azar, but couldn't find the player who was making that run. Another good intervention from Oliver Yates, who's been very effective when it comes to that sweeper keeper role that he can play. Here's Will Rankin. Fragale finds Trajanowski, and Mount Druitt will play a direct ball forward, and Caleb Jackson-Brown was behind Joey Gibbs. Here's John Azar. Makes his way into the box. A good block from Ben Geisen, and it'll be a goal kick. Double deflection. Ryan for Lachlan Scott. What a ball that is from Lachlan Scott for Marcus Beattie. Beats one challenge, Marcus Beattie! And the Wolves lead. He's picked out the near post. An excellent goal from the Wolves. But again, Lachlan Scott at the heart of things.
Number 17, Marcus Beattie.
A neat flick over the top, and Dylan Ryan, who found him. And Marcus Beattie used the speed to get him behind, shifting inside and then picking out that left side of the goal. And they've turned it around, the Wolves. Here's Will Rankin. They're pressing hard, the Wolves. Niski has no choice but to boot it forward. Dylan Ryan will shepherd that behind, but it'll be a Mount Druitt throw. Will Rankin to take the throw in. Kanazumi wins the ball and Gibbs is sitting on it. BT, and that goes out for a throw in. Important moments these for the Wolves as they look to stop any potential counter punch from Mount Druitt Town. BT boots it out again. A free kick. Not a great position to give that away there. Within the final 10 regular minutes of this one. John Azar to take this free kick. Bunal heads it away. BT knocks it further away. Olsen, what a flick. Scott, he's got Raphael Leai running behind him. Here's Raphael Leai. Great save, Niski. Scott, great save again from Niski. Here's Olsen, and blasts it wide. A sensational stop from Dylan Niski. Twice. Keeps his team in the game, and Mount Druitt will take it down the other end. They've had their chances today, the Wolves. Fregale will pick the ball up for Massarola. That clips the ball towards Thomas Lopez, but Ben Geisen comes away with it. Geisen finds the eye. Oh, but it's just run out of room for the winger. Had his chances today, Raphael Leai, as well, personally. He's seen a few go wide, and that one there, good save from Niski. Moon sub-sim, won his fair share of headers in midfield as well. Joey Gibbs. John Azar. Good ball for Will Rankin. Jude Rankin ahead of him. Loses a couple of 50s, and Ken Izumi's copped a bit of a hit on the way through, but Marcus Beattie has some space. Lachlan Scott at the far post. Jude Rankin gets back. Dylan Ryan back to Ken Izumi. Woon sub-sim will find Leai. Geisen back to Yates, and he gets it back here, Geisen. Neat feet. But he's misplaced that pass, and Olsen with a clever foul and will do well to avoid a caution out of that, which he does. Final 5 minutes of regular time now. The Wolves holding on. John Azar with another delivery, and it's found the back post. Regale heads it back in towards Thet with the backwards header, but wide. Substitution for Mount Druitt Town. It looks as if 2 could be made, and one of those is going to be Alexander Trajanovsky coming off, as is John Azar. Lachlan Vasiulu is going to come on, and the other change is going to be Shaden Sampao, who's on as well. Scott. Kanaizumi hoists it up towards Olsen, who is deemed not to have pushed in the back, and a bit of chaos at the back here for Mount Druitt. That looked as if it was a foul, and it is. Another free kick in a good position for the Wolves. They've been getting closer on these. The one from the other side was saved by Niski when Sim stepped up. He doesn't look to have any part in this one. Olsen and Dylan Ryan, both left-footed players, standing over this. Dylan Ryan sends it over the top. Massarola. Will Rankin finds Jude Rankin. Try to keep it neat as Caleb Jackson Brown is found over the top and gets the cross in, but goes over the byline for a Wolves goal kick. Does look as if it'll be just the one change for Wollongong in this game. Again holds the ball up for the Wolves. Ryan for Raphael Leai, who can attack the box. Leai back to Ball. Scott. Neat 1-2 with Ball. Here's Liam Ball. That'll spin behind for a corner. And we're about to find out how much added time we'll have in it at the end of this second half. And it'll be 4 minutes of additional time as Olsen will pick up a yellow card for time wasting on the corner. Less options forward for the Wolves as they focus more on defending. Here's Liam Ball towards Dylan Ryan, who has the ball in the net, but flagged offside. He's been a threat from the set pieces as Dylan Ryan, and that one found its way into the net, but offside. Not the best header from Woon Sub Sim, but Kanaizumi will clear it away, and he did take a hit from Lachlan Vasiliou. He didn't really need to put in that challenge. So we left with a little over a little over 2 minutes of additional time for the Wolves to navigate and secure victory. Yates, that does look a touch too long, but Lachlan Scott will get a hold of the ball, as he's done so well today. Here's Scott. Ball said to have gone out of play, and Mount Druitt can throw it forward towards Gibbs. Ryan wins the header. Olsen with a foul. Another good foul from Nick Olsen in the context of at least for the Wolves, and of course on that yellow card now, here's Jude Rankin down the right. Great block from Dylan Ryan, who's been excellent as well on his full return to the Wolves team. And Dylan Miskey has made his way up for this set piece. Jude Rankin with the ball in, but it's a bit short, only partially cleared. And it will be Oliver Yates who will take his time on this one. 90 seconds left. Yates hooks it up towards Raphael Leai, and the ball's gone out. Scott lashes it away. Getting towards final attack territory, this for Mount Druitt. Dyson heads it away. They'll keep it on the left-hand side though, Mount Druitt. Throw in. And that's an awkward one, but Buna will boot it away. Alex Masciavecchio is getting ready to come on for the Wolves if they have time to make that sub. Looks as if they will have to defend this though, the Wolves. Kanaizumi heads it away. Scott, if he can get the pass right, they might have a third, the Wolves, but well over hit. Can't be too much time left now. Gibbs heads it forward. And Ben Geisen put himself in an awkward position with Thomas Lopez, but managed to deal with it. Will be a substitution for the Wolves. We're beyond the 4 minutes. So this is all additional time for the Wolves to deal with. Lachlan Scott coming off, who's been instrumental in bringing this game back into Wolves' hands. And Masciavecchio will come on for the final few seconds. Kanaizumi heads it away. Big challenge. Dyson gets a foot in, ball clears it further away, and that's full time. Wollongong Wolves 2, Mount Druitt Town 1. John Azar gave the Rangers the lead, a lead they took into half-time, but a Lachlan Scott penalty followed by Marcus Beattie's goal secures a valuable 3 points for the Wolves as they push up back towards those final places. My name is Tim Gibson. Thank you for tuning in.